Okay. It looks like we're...
Does it look live on your side?
It looks live. It says it's live sur YouTube.
It doesn't
So
say that for me, but it's okay. You go ahead.
We are apparently live sur YouTube because I'm in France. I'm not quite sure what it says where you are, but I'm Simon Ensor, and this is Virtually Connecting, and we're connecting on the margins of the International Virtual Exchange Conference, which is based in Newcastle, but because of COVID, of course, everything is online. So we're very, very fortunate to have you all here online. So what I'd like to do is to go around very, very quickly. And if you could say 2 words about who you are and where you're from, and that will give everybody an idea. So we'll start with, who can we start with? Pierre.
Yes. I was student last year in Clermont-Ferrand in L3 STAPS, Education et Motricité. And this year I will integrate the ANE-STAPS. So it's a big association with students of STAPS, which want to fight for the right of students and to propose project to improve our study. And I like to work and to debate about education, because it's, I think, a big part of our life, and it can be a good point to improve our society.
Thank you, Pierre. Tarek?
Hello, everyone. My name is Tarek. I'm an expert in virtual exchange. I've done too many programs, mainly with the Erasmus Plus initiative. I'm also an ambassador for virtual exchange in Syria. Thank you.
Okay, let's move on to Alexandra.
Hi, everyone. I'm Alexandra. I'm working at Göttingen University. My topic is intercultural competence. And I've been involved in virtual exchange since 2019 with TAP trainings and with a NICE program. And I'm looking forward to another virtual exchange in October, November.
Fantastic. Poonam?
Hello, namaste. My name is Poonam Khargi from Nepal, and I am working at Peace for People organization. And we are work for quality education for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Poonam. Kabi?
Hello, namaste. My name is Kavi Paudel from Nepal, and I working for Peace for People and Nepal, quality education for all. Thank you.
Okay, Matthias.
Hello, everyone. I am Matthias, Senior International Officer in the Catholic University of Manizales in Colombia. I am in my final year of the PhD in education, but I'm working on internationalization of the curriculum in action. And so I found in virtual exchange and COIL and all of these projects something very interesting for the international dimensional students. We started last year, introduced by one of the organizers of this event, which is the Pole University. Like, those were like our first contact when we started this collaboration. And I am also like the person who moves into the whole university how to apply these virtual exchanges. And now we have over 44. Well, we just started last year, but we have over 44 profiles of professors interested in doing these sort of collaborations. And that's why I love this community as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Zoe.
Good morning, I'm Zoe Petropoulou. I have been working with virtual exchange modalities the last 3 years. At my university, we already finished training 2 pilot programs, and we are starting our 3rd one this fall with more faculty members. I have been working with France most of the time on intercultural competencies, And we plan to expand to other countries, especially Lebanon right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Zoe. Okay, we're going to keep the intros as brief as possible because we have so many people now. Right, Juliette, Lynn, and Celia, a brief introduction. Say hi.
Hi. Hello, my name is
Where are
Lynn and
you?
I'm 20 years old. Fine. We are in France and we are in Clermont-Ferrand.
Fantastic. Ikram?
I'm Juliette and I'm... Sorry?
Ikram? Ikram, hello?
I'm sorry. I'm Juliette and my...
Juliette Bussell speaking.
We have not... So I'm Juliette and I'm 21. And I'm Celia and I'm 22 years old.
Thank you very much. Sorry, I'm making a mess of this. This is normal. Ikram? Ikram?
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Wonderful. Hi, everyone. I hope you're doing great. So my name is Ikram. I'm logging in from Morocco. I'm a virtual exchange facilitator currently working with Solia and a couple of other NGOs like Anna Lind and sometimes Sharon's Perspectives Foundation. And I am 22. Yes, I'm about 32. I saw the comment. Thank you and good to be with you here today.
Okay, Art?
Great to meet. I feel 22 and I represent Masterpiece. We are active in more than 40 countries. So I just asked Marin, maybe we can co-create in Colombia. I'm happy to join.
Okay, great. Santosh?
Namaste, everyone. My name is Santosh Vijari. I'm from Nepal. I'm a founder of Peaceful People and a representative of Masterpiece Global in Nepal. From last 13 years, I'm working in rural Nepal, rural part of the Nepal about the quality education because personally, I believe without education, we are unable to develop my country. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Sarah?
Hi, I'm Sarah. I am a graduate student in the United States, and I'm working this year with a virtual exchange nonprofit called Gazelle International.
Thank you very much. Who am I missing? Christine?
Hello, everybody. I'm Christine. I'm associate professor and researcher at Université Clermont-Auvergne, and I'm involved in the Clavier project with someone called Simon. I don't know if you know the guy. Yeah?
It's not me.
And I won't tell my age.
I'm 58. Right. Francesca?
Well, I'm 22 and I'm connecting here from Padova in Italy. And it's really excited to be here with people from all corners of everywhere. Wonderful.
Right. Anush?
Yes, I'm from Armenia and I'm teaching cultural competencies. I've completed TEP Basic, but have never participated in a virtual exchange, but I would love to. Thank you.
Okay, right. So who are we missing? Did we speak to Claire? Can you hear? You have beautiful flowers, Claire.
She introduced herself in the chat. I don't know if she.
Okay, right. Joanna?
Working.
Did we? Who? Maha, you have to help. I don't know who I haven't spoken.
Yeah,
to.
I think it's Johanna who's left.
Did she speak, Joanna?
Oh, I can speak now. Hello. So I'm from Germany and working with Alexandra and the University of Göttingen on virtual exchanges. So I'm excited to be here.
Right. Is that
everybody?
everybody?
And I think that's everybody. Claire, I just want to check. No? Okay. So I'll just introduce myself real quick. I'm Mahabeli from the American University in Cairo. I'm the co-founder of Virtually Connecting, which is what we're doing right here. And I've been doing virtual exchange since 2006, originally with Solia, now on the advisory board of Erasmus Plus Virtual Exchange. And I'll be on a panel tomorrow. So I'll try not to talk too much today to give everyone else room to speak.
Okay. Perhaps we could start with what for you is virtual exchange and what could it mean for your context? Does somebody want to run with that? What is virtual exchange for you, and what does it mean in your context?
Well, I can say a few words.
Yeah.
Which, as this current situation proved, virtual exchange is very, very important. And people can gain a lot by saving money and time, energy, and just enhance and communicate and enhance their cultural competencies, English language proficiency, and other skills. This is virtual exchange for me.
Hi, Madhu. Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear us okay? Oh, he's disappeared. Right. Right, Tahek. Virtual exchange for you. No, can you hear me? No? Yeah, Tarek, what does virtual exchange mean for you?
Well, for me, it's kind of different because, you know, we are here in Syria is kind of detached from the outer world, you know, and we kind of have only the same people to talk with every day. So virtual exchange gave me this opportunity to be in contact with different people from all over the world to discuss stuff and topics that are of equal importance for all of us, you know. So I got this opportunity, which was life-changing for me, you know. You know, with everything happening inside the country, we are having like this discrimination online and offline. But with virtual exchange, I met people who are happy to talk and discuss different topics without any prior prejudice or discrimination.
Okay, I'm going to leave it open. So if you have something to say, please just jump in.
I would like to say something, because for me, virtual exchange is something like a very exciting journey for everyone involved, for the teachers and students and staff and everyone like involved. And it's also a great opportunity to kind of burst the workshop bubble, because I'm teaching intercultural competence, and you know, sometimes it's a very, so hopefully we're creating very, you know, like sustainable and meaningful learning experiences. But I was always wondering kind of what happens after the workshop when the students leave the classroom. And now with virtual exchange, we really have the opportunity to really challenge ourselves as teachers. I can challenge myself as teacher, and the students can challenge themselves by really connecting and really making like a live conversation. So I find this a very exciting opportunity to work on intercultural competence.
Yeah, so for me, the virtual exchange
that.
is,
I just
Yeah, Santosh, go on.
go ahead, please.
So for me, this is a bit new topic because basically I was working from the long time in my country. But basically, when I'm talking about the Nepali context, the difficulties about the virtual elections because we have more time about the problem in electricity, problem in the Wi-Fi. So there are lots of things happening in my country. So when first time I can hear about something from Simon about the virtual elections, I was a bit surprised because, okay, so this is the time to learning from each other. So this is the time to how we can learn from the online, because basically we are more focusing about the offline. But when I started the journey with Simon, this is a really new, but still I really excited to be a more journey about the virtual access.
I wanted to second that. Sorry, it's really odd to speak in a setting where it's just open mic. Hope I'm not interrupting everybody. I just wanted to second that and share that I've also been thinking about virtual exchange and what does it make it special? How does it differ from any other type of international exchanges? And in this setting, today we're doing VE, and we have all these countries present in one room. And I was thinking before, and like, if I did get a chance to travel to all these countries that are present in a room here today, And let's say like there are 1,000 countries over the world, cities and places to visit, but let's say that you do get a chance to visit all of them, you wouldn't have the opportunity to just meet all these people and then spend a lot of time with them, enough to build up a friendship or relationship that is enough for you to communicate and talk about these pressing matters and just really connect and know cultures and identities. So virtual exchange does offer you this opportunity, which is very valuable. And it's not something that any other type of exchange could offer, just bringing the time and the people in one place.
Terry?
Yes, hello everyone. For me, virtual exchange means a lot of things and maybe everything, because without virtual exchange, Western countries, like where I'm from France, is maybe like in a bubble. We don't have so much connection, especially in this time of COVID, when we can't travel, go in other countries. Virtual exchange simply gives sense to many things. I'm a PhD student in physiology, but thanks to the virtual exchange, I'm working to help the education system in Nepal, to have connection with many people around the world. And it's just giving a lot of sense about personally my own life and the life around me, because there is interconnection everywhere with virtual exchange. And it's just so meaningful and helpful for the life personally.
Okay, somebody want to, perhaps you put in the chat, you want to jump in, and then we can manage it a little better. I'm useless at managing. Right, who can we come? Art, you with Masterpiece, perhaps if you'd like to explain a little what it means, and then virtual exchange from your point of view.
Yeah, thank you, Simon. Well, when I remember that Masterpiece started by two guys 10 years ago, and they were in one was in Egypt, the other in the Netherlands. So it started also already IT based, and now we're active in 40 countries. And I think I never learned so much in the last 9 years. It is a knowledge network based using IT in all the aspects. So to mobilize, especially tens of thousands of youngsters in all the countries, it's so, let's say, helpful to mobilize, to inspire, to share great ideas, to create concepts, to create mobilizing power. So without IT, we could not exist. So that is the, let's say, the fundament. And of course, the virtual exchange I very much believe in. It's easy, it's fluent, and it needs to be some kind of based on shared values. And because, yeah, I cannot see mostly in the dark eyes of all the people. But yeah, there has to be, let's say, a trusted relationship to really bring ideas to actionable steps. So that's what there has to be a hybrid model, but virtual exchange, yeah, that is here, and it's boosted by Corona. And another aspect of Corona, I don't know how you guys think, but it seems that we all understand we cannot do it on our own. We have to do it together. And so this is the best way to co-create. And the International Day of Peace is this weekend. We started the campaign #7BillionStrong. So please use your post and we will aggregate the hashtags. But that is using also IT and virtual to the max. So without IT and exchanges and communication, we could not exist.
Okay, I have a question for Kabi and Poonam. In the schools that you are working with, can you describe those schools? Because I think that puts in perspective what we are able to do and what those perhaps is more difficult for.
It's a very difficult to doing a virtual conference or virtual things in our school because it's a hilly area and there is like a lot of networking problem as well. And Yeah, just only 5 or 10% only possible to do so.
Okay. And Kabi?
Yes, Nepal virtual exchange program available Zoom call and so difficult only for 10 and 12% use.
Okay, so we have what I understand, a massive access issue in many countries.
Yes.
Okay, does somebody else want to jump on this business of access? Because one of the conference themes is equity and equality with virtual exchange.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Basically, many times we are talking about this is the 21st century, and yeah, the world is really one mobile phone, smartphone, everything is really interesting. Even for us, we are using the same way. But when we see our eyes to our area where we work in the remote area, basically in the village of Nepal, basically different part of the country. Many years, even this 70 years to public education is started in my country, we never think, government never think about the virtual things because yeah, this is, sometimes we are discussing about that part, but this is not really priority. But when the COVID started in my country 7 months ago, still we are in lockdown till now. So it's already from still 7 months, the students and everyone, they are unable to go to schools and everything is stopped. So a few months ago, government decided, let's start virtual classes in Nepal, virtual education. So it seems to be not only for the students, it's really difficulties for the teacher as well, because this is a really new context. So when we see the data, last week we get some survey data. So there is only 31% students are able to join this kind of virtual access, 31. So you can imagine more than 70% students are unable to join about these kind of virtual access, this kind of stuff, different kind of educational as a learning process. So that's why sometimes we are a bit afraid when we talk about the virtual exchange, when we talk about equity, when we talk about the digitalization, digital globalization, like this thing, because the realistic is still so far.
Zoe, you wanted to jump in? Yeah.
Yes, I would like to say that for us at St. John's University, it's a question of equity. Not all of our students can travel abroad. Not all of our students can participate and take courses that deal with international and intercultural competence. So I think we can contribute to the equity challenges that we are faced right now, more and more with this type of students we are serving. Before COVID, we had 40% of our students studying abroad, which left 60% of them not being able to take advantage of international, opportunities. So now we try and we want to target more students being part of this project.
Well, in Latin America, regarding mobility, we usually have, let's say, this exchange is only 1% to 4%. So we are really thinking over like 90% of students don't go on these opportunities. However, we embrace virtual exchange as one mediation, a very important tool, a didactic, let's say, important tool, which help us trace a learning pathway for the student that we want to build, let's say, to create, let's say, to foster. And global citizenship is, for instance, is one of the topics that we many times mention, but sometimes it's just from speech and we don't carry out in practice. And that's why, let's say, even though like maybe some people think of a substitute for, let's say, physical mobility, it's actually a very important resource for creating a meaningful learning and experiential learning for students. And while also, let's say, developing their intercultural communication and intercultural competence and sensitivity, let's say, for others, let's say. So we realize that it's also like many times when we think about this clash of cultures, we think of respect and tolerance for others, but it's not only that part. That is like kind of the beginning, like the awareness raising. But then you create also this identity across cultures, across despite differences, but also when you start interacting, you realize that we are also actually seeking for the common good, that we have also so many things in common, that when we create these spaces of relationship, either in disciplines or in communication or practicing foreign languages or any other, let's say, project that we, let's say, work through, our learning pathway, let's say our final mission is also to create this unity, to create also this understanding that we are all part of the same, let's say, of the same land. And even though, and many times also, like, it eliminates, let's say, stereotypes. Many times we think that the people or the citizens of a certain culture of a country are represented strongly by the leaders, and many times those leaders don't really represent the vast majority of the citizens that who really want, let's say, to help each other for collective well-being. So we think that this is a way for students to understand that now territory has changed. Like in the past, we had borders, we had frontiers, we had all of this, but now we understand that we are really looking for let's say, we are seeking for the common good, that these kind of exchanges help us understand that all of us have an important role. And it's not that whether we are from a very small village or whether we are from a very big capital, a metropolitan city, let's say, that we are all looking for well-being. So it's not, yeah, it helps us with intercultural competence, it helps us with intercultural communication, but it helps us like change ourselves. And it's like so that's why I think that virtual exchange is a learning pathway. When professors, I think that that is probably one of the main challenges when we're talking about virtual exchange, is that for some, it could be just an extra activity, a lot of work or extra work. But when they actually, for example, for professors and for the students, when they see that there is a learning goal and that it actually relates to their lives or to the disciplines they are studying, it's totally different because it has a purpose. So that's why I think that virtual exchange is a learning pathway, because it has a purpose regarding discipline, cross-discipline, culture. And that's why I understand internationalization as the relation between nations, between people. And that's why, let's say, it's very, very important for us when we not only think of it as an alternative for virtual exchange, but when we think that it goes far beyond. And it's a very important resource for teaching, learning, and assessment as well, while we create this global understanding. And well, that's more or less the way we envision virtual exchange.
Purpose. That was a word which came up in the conference, which some of you were not attendees to. So what is the purpose of this session? For you, what is the purpose of this? Why are you here? Madhu, hello. Namaste.
Namaste everyone.
Can you say why you are here today in this space?
First, thank you, Mr. T, Santosh sir, Simons, and everyone for the kind of opportunity to me to sharing some things in what happened in Nepal and how we, because I am one of the social workers to the community. So I am sharing some things to you, all of you. When the COVID pandemic in Nepal, we started community learning centers to the children who is affected to the COVID victims. And we, when the Nepalese government And some schools, some public schools say the virtual class they did not assist because in the Nepal lots of places is rural areas and very problems in internet. So we start the community learning centers and we start children's songs, creative things, students sharing, children's play. We teach play how to play in there, and I'm going to share some things, and this is my big opportunity in here.
Okay, purpose. So for you, Madhu, the sound was a little difficult for me. I don't know if it was difficult for others. What I understand is you're working as a social worker in Nepal, and you're setting centers to help people with COVID in villages. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because basically, Mother said is that there are lots of trouble in the village, typically in Nepal, village of the Nepal. So the young people like Madhu and the other more volunteer, they started community learning center. So basically, community learning center is not really school based. So every village there is some volunteer. They went in some village, and there are 10 or 20 students. They just collect some kids in the local village, and they want to teach them several months. But unfortunately, now it's also still seems impossible because there is some more increasing in the COVID in my country. So now they already stopped, but they did really interesting job in the community. So what he said.
Okay. Does somebody else want to pick up on this question of purpose of all of this?
I'd like to take this chance to talk about the purpose of being here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, great. So I guess the purpose of here is to talk about virtual exchange in our own context. I mean, obviously, each and every one of us uses virtual exchange in a different context and for different goals, you know? I guess the reason that I'm here is to talk about it from a Syrian point of view. That's something I guess not a lot of people know about. And even virtual exchange is something not so common here. I'll talk a bit about accessibility. Obviously, we can't have the luxury to study programs abroad for different reasons. But even for virtual exchange, it's been quite difficult sometimes to be there, you know, and participate in those programs because of our load shedding problems related to the internet, the connection, you know. Those are not super relevant to other people's context, I guess, in the West, for instance. They are super common here, and I guess like I see a lot of people laughing now. So I guess that's relatable in other places across the world. My point is that I myself know a lot of people who are super interested in participating in those programs, but they lack the proper technology to be there, you know, and that's one of the main issues here that contributes to the other issues that are separating Syrians from the outer world.
Okay, so I have a question. How can people here be bridges to those people who have no access? Because some of us have the privilege to be able to communicate in this way, and then there are others who can't. So what is our responsibility? Do we have a responsibility for these other people?
Can I add, Simon?
Yeah.
I really like the chats, and so someone said it will take time before everyone has access, but in that interface, let's say all of us do have access, so by definition we do have a responsibility to share, and that can be via physical meetings and talks. So your takeaways of this one, and also virtually we can exchange ideas, best practices or whatever. So it's a fast way to exchange, and then to be the ambassador, to the broker of, let's say, the digital content and the digital networks towards the people who we as Masterpiece work for. That is the underprivileged and the ones you want to support to create perspective. So dissemination brokering is a, when you join, I think that is almost a responsibility.
Personally, I really think that we are responsible of a big thing, because personally, and some people of this session also have the privilege to be born in a Western country, rich country, without too many network issues. We have easily access to internet for not a lot of money. I consider that is our duty to do our best to communicate about what we are doing, what we can do, because without speaking about virtual exchange, the internet, we are also the chance to be well educated, and it's not the chance for everyone. So I really think that we have the duty to do our best for those who don't have the chance to be like us, because they were not born in a specific limited countries or whatever the thing. So I really think that this session is also beautiful, because even though we are all over the world, we don't have all the same connection, all the same internet connection. We are able to speak and to spread all the things that we are saying right now in the future, in the last couple of weeks, day, with the help of the live on YouTube also. So I really think that we are lucky, and for that luck, we are responsible to share it with many people.
I'd like to, Juliette Lynn Cilia, are you there? Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Sorry, we have to go because we have class in the university now. So
Okay, well, we'll catch up later. Don't worry.
very sorry.
Okay. Pierre, can I move on to you? You're a student.
Have a good day.
Same to you, you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're a student representative, and sometimes it's difficult for the young to actually take things in hand and to have their voices heard. Could you give us a few ideas about that?
Yes, for sure. I think we are in a country, in a society where the methods are sometimes old, and the older people want to control the world, and sometimes for the young it's difficult to improve and to give new ideas, because sometimes is very, very new, and the other people think it's an adapt, and we can't change all the things today, and it needs to take a little bit time to do the thing maybe slowly. And I think today, if we want to change something, we need to have a very good idea of the way we want to take, and we need to share our ideas, because it will be, I think, very easier if we are 3 or we have 10 or a big group to have the same ideas and to share these ideas with the other, and after the group will grow up, and it will be easier to give the idea to the politics or to the teacher, and to work together and to propose something which are very concrete, and just not some ideas like this. And I think today, if we want to act, it's not a problem if we are young. We just need to see that, just to say that we are we have a reflection about what we want, and today we have the choice to change the world and to propose something, and it's not a problem of all.
Okay, Art, go on. You have to leave.
Yeah, 2 IDs/requests. I very much like this session, and it's indeed about the actionable steps next. One question is, as Masterpiece, we do have a campaign, #7BillionStrong. So whenever you post on social media, Insta, Facebook, your call to action, we will aggregate this via the hashtag and give a birthday present to the UN. That is the 24th of October. So when you put it on Facebook or whatever, we will aggregate it and then we will disseminate it to the UN. So, and this is a long campaign, but this is in the next 4 weeks. The second is, I hope, and sorry, I have to leave now, that each connects to one new person and has a follow-up action. I invited Matthias Marin. He is in Colombia. We do have teams. I connected via LinkedIn. So maybe each can choose one that there is a follow-up action. Okay. Hey, thank you so much for having me. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Art. That's great. Fran, were you wanting to say something?
No, I think this activist dimension, I like the idea of virtual exchange as a way of creating these grassroots connections. So this kind of globalization from below, the bottom up activism. And I think what Art was beginning to mention is this idea of what action can we take? And this is something that I've been trying to research. How do we look at change? I'm not interested in measuring because I don't think you can measure it, but I think these actionable things that we can actually do to change things for ourselves, because I think through every connection we make, we each change. So we're making bridges, but we're changing both sides of the borders as we cross these bridges. But I think we need to not just be complacent and say, oh, wow, it's great to connect. Now I know what's happening in Syria and what's this. It's really important to take these connections and do something with them. And this is what I'd really like to explore and hear more from you. And also in terms of the connectivity and the hardware, I mean, here now in Italy, we're talking about the recovery and, we've got the new whatever money coming in. And my concern is that there's a focus too much on the technology and not on using it to make the connections. So that when there is money available, it being invested in the wrong ways. And we've seen this before. So again, I'd like to see how we can do things rightly to get to be actionable and to take action.
To follow what Francesca said, I totally agree with you, and how the technology is used and how virtual exchange is used for everyone in this session and about the people around us is totally different. For so many people, it's a tool. For so many people, it's not a tool. It's simply necessary to have virtual exchange and the use of this technology to improve their society, their daily life, personally or around us, around them. And I really think that, as Simon said about the purpose, virtual exchange have a big purpose, but the most important thing is to find the meanings of what virtual exchange can bring, because it could bring so many things for everyone personally, but also collectively inside the society, for local area or global area for sure.
Wanted to add to what Harry said, that it feels like a double-ended question. It has to do with both the voices that we bring to the virtual exchange setting. Now that we're here, what are we going to do with it? And then also our responsibility in terms of enabling other voices from other communities to participate as well. And so I think Tadek, a little bit earlier on, you were sharing on the idea that we all know Syria. We know about the Syrian context and the Syrian people, but do we hear from Syrian people? That's the thing. We need to give the ability of to people to represent themselves and to speak for themselves and what are things that concern them and how they feel about things generally. And so on one side, now that we are in a virtual setting, the idea of bringing voices, just sharing it from our own perspective is already changing a lot of things, mainly the stereotypes that we have on each other about each other, and also the just being able to understand each other on a deeper level. And then on the other side, why do we have like missing perspectives in our communities? Is it a problem of not knowing? Because in some communities, we don't have virtual exchange because people do not know about these opportunities. So maybe by us being involved in such opportunities, maybe we could think of how we could bring them to our context. Maybe we could start our own virtual exchange, maybe not even an official one, just like connecting via Skype or Zoom like here, and then enabling these people to join. Is it a matter of technology, financially speaking, the ability to provide, to have an internet, a computer, and then just somewhere where you can sit and have this discussion? There are many funders that do fund such opportunities if people are willing to connect. And so now that we have the privilege to be here, for those of us who are privileged to be in the virtual exchange, maybe we could work on getting in touch with these funders and creating our own small programs. Or just like, for example, companies that already exist, we can just reach out to them and say, hi, I belong to this university and people from my university have never heard of you. They don't have the financial aids to be involved, but do you offer any scholarships for them? These are some of the ways we could help.
Yeah, I just want to add something to what everyone has said. First of all, yes, it's very important to know why people are not participating in virtual exchange. So is it a matter of lack of technology, or is it a matter of the lack of will or interest? You know, as a person myself, I try to promote this culture of virtual exchange in the country, but as I said, the difficulties are endless, as well as in people here, or at least a lot of people here, understand the benefits and advantages of virtual exchange, but also on the other hand, the difficulties are endless too. And as answer your question, Simon, from earlier about what could we do, I guess the very first thing we could do is to educate people on what's going on, why those people can join, why we aren't hearing from people from this country or this community. You know, I guess education could be our very first step. And when a lot of people know about this, you could talk about actionable measures that you may, whoever could make regarding this, you know?
I think what you just said, Tarek, I'd like to jump in there. I agree totally with what you just said, is that generally speaking, we're confronted by media images of mass numbers of people. And there is a real reason for that, is because people cannot humanly deal with massive numbers of people. And so they feel helpless because they say, well, I can do nothing. This is a massive problem. But coming back to what Art was saying, well, 7 billion, this is a horrible number. I'm very bad with mathematics. I'm just one person. And we can do this conversation. And this has really made my day to be able to hear you speak, because it's a question of taking that and taking it further and acting. And when I think about my work with Santosh, none of that would have happened without Terry, who's a young guy who went out and he took the risk to go out to Nepal where there's no electricity, there's no internet access, there's no schools often. And we need the young to understand the power that they have. And when Madhu was talking about what he's doing, and when Kabi is talking about what he's doing, and when Santosh was talking to me about what age he started doing something, I think that there's a lot of kids in a lot of countries, they are asleep. And it's not something which they necessarily want to be, it's something which is an educational policy. We're going to occupy their minds, we're going to make them anxious, and then we're going to tell them they can't do anything. And I think there's a real, for me personally, there's a real issue about enabling kids to understand, yes, you can do stuff to change your world locally, even if it's just smiling at somebody that you never smiled at.
For sure.
I totally agree with Simon because basically in my countries is that when someone finishes school level education, you can imagine like grade 10, grade 11 and grade 12, they had a dream to go America, Australia, UK or Europe. That's the only one dream. Probably in last 13 years, I was met more than 1,000 of young people. Everyone, they can give me the same answer, yeah, my dream is abroad. No one wants to think about their community. And basically, when we talk about the education, like Tarek just talked, I really like her point because many times I went to local community. I'm talking with the local parents, hey, can you send your kids to schools? Many parents said, no, why I'm sending my kids to a school? Because all the mentality is that education only for the money. After education, he or she will earning the money. They found a good job. So that means still in this last 70 years, education developing in my country, even we are unable to explain people education for what? Why education is important. That's the big challenge. When we talk about kids, hey, you can go to schools. It's the time to go to schools. But many kids say, I'm not really interested to go to schools because the curriculum, the school environment, all the system, they never attract the school to go to schools. When we visit the schools, we never saw the kids smile facing kids because they're always feeling worried. They're always feeling really scaring. They really don't have good relation between the teacher. So that's a lot of trouble. That's the main reason why many Nepali young people are drop out of schools. So after the dropouts, even if I can share with you, not exactly data, only 10% of Nepali people only finish after SLC. That means after grade 10. You can imagine. When people are not really educated, when we are talking about the equity, when we are talking about the digitalization, I was already mentioned because the first priority is that now what I'm really trying to do with my community is that education for what? I really wanted to give the definition for the local people. Hey guys, it's the time to wake up. Education for the developing our community. Education for the developing my country. It's not only for your earning money purpose. The purpose is that over your personality. That's why every country, they have a different context. I understand. But first of all, we really need to focus to educate the children, because if we can educate the children, then only we're able to talk everything, like about the previous life, what's going on in Europe. Many times people are really interested, what's the election in the USA? Nepali people are thinking about the election in the USA, but they never think what's going on in my country, what's going on in my country. That's why I really wanted to bring the hope, even like Derek just mentioned, because many times, even my English is also not good. I know that. But I really want to talk with more people because practice makes perfect. That's why I believe. I understand. I like to talk with many people because what so So when we know the context of the different country, then we're able to give in our people, okay, these are the examples. You can imagine what we are going to do. That's why there are some purpose of my journey, because when I was in 20, I started foundation. So now already I'm 32, so it's 12 years. Many people think I'm crazy. I'm crazy because making a school building, providing scholarship, that's not my job. But I really wanted to be a crazy because I really wanted to give the example for the next generation. I really wanted to give some hope for the next generation. Hey guys, more than 7 billion people are abroad. You can imagine why you are doing abroad. Because many people, they want to come here for the Mount Everest, for the Gautam Buddha. That means we have lots of opportunity. But people really don't want to follow, don't want to research, just lots of political depression, many more issues going on. That's why many people, they always think, yeah, we cannot do something. Let's go somewhere and settle ourselves. But for me, I really wanted to bring all the kids. I really wanted to create all the young people. Hey, let's do something for the country. Maybe it's take a time. I don't think the change will be happening in my country also in next 5 years, next 10 years. But at least there will be one day there will be my country will be all kids will be get free education, all the quality education, all the meaningful education. That's what I'm doing. Thank you very much.
Okay, I think, guys, that we're going to stop there. It's 2 o'clock, so there are some people who are going to go and have a look at a keynote. Sorry, I can't say keynote, that's not right. Keynote. Ah. I'm rubbish, I'm sorry. Right, one thing which I hope that Maha, she wanted to say bye-bye to everybody. She's sorry she was frying in her car in Cairo and she needed to get her kid. So, and her brain was going, ooh, she couldn't concentrate. So she's sorry she couldn't stay longer, but she's very happy that such a nice group got together. Maybe we can share contacts. We will have the recording of this one way or another. And I know that from Fran, we have Tarek and Ikram, and with Santosh, with Madhu and Kabi and Poonam, we already are speaking. And everybody else, I just wanted to know. So Alexander, are you in the IVEC conference? Yes?
You know, if you're passing on another slot for me, then I will be in the IVEC conference. I mean, kind of registration closed early. You know, that is a sustainable shock that I got.
Okay, so you wanted to be, but you had
Same with me. Same with me.
Okay.
Don't you do that? Closing registration early. Don't you do that? No.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll bring that up.
Yes,
no,
thank you.
just pass on a slot so we can join. That will make up for everything.
I'm going to give you my email.
There you go. Great, yes.
And you can send your complaints via me.
No, I mean, yes,
No,
I will send your email. I will send my complaints, and I'm sure I'm aware that, you know, it's like it popped up all the time. So like, I'm going to do it tomorrow. That was like my main takeaway for the month of September. No, and I apply that for the virtual exchange. If there's something you want to do, you need to do it immediately. That's what I take from that.
Well,
yes.
I have all sorts of things which I'd like to say, but I'm not going to say it live.
Thanks for the email.
Virtually connecting for me was my answer.
There you go. Oh, okay, great, yeah. I'm going to put my email on the chat too. And okay. I'm happy to connect with anyone out there. I really like the activist approach. That was new to me. And if you like, I'm happy to do so. Thank you very much.
Send us an email and we'll see what we can do next. Okay, so hopefully Maha and her system, fantastic Zoom, YouTube thing, will have collected all your emails and registration and all that sort of stuff. But if it doesn't, we have a recording and we will manage somehow to keep in contact if we can and if we find the time. But please do. I hope this is just the beginning of something else.
Thanks everyone. Yeah, thank you, Simon, for organising, and thanks everybody for coming. It's been very fruitful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's such a pleasure to see you all. And Claire, your flowers are beautiful. Please never change your avatar. It's fantastic. Okay, I'm going to stop the session now. Go off and speak to each other in some other place. This is closed. Okay, see you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Namaste, bye.
Namaste, bye bye.
À plus, salut.
Stay safe. Take care.
Goodbye.
Bye, Simon.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Simon.
See you later, Madhu.
Thank you for
we will speak.
Okay.
Okay, see you later.
Okay.